it is a huge talking point, Keith. And, you know, when you reflect and when we look at what we're going to look at now with penalties and red card decisions, penalties not given, why wasn't the VAR consulted on, say, the first Iranian penalty shout, all of those things, you can get into all those, but have they just undermined, these officials who were there tonight, have they just undermined the whole project in one evening?
I think it's hard to put your finger on exactly what happened. He was clearly advised on certain ones to look at incidents. I think this tournament was too soon for VAR in a nutshell, because it's been hit and miss. We've seen it in England in the FA Cup. Diddy's talked about it in the Bundesliga this season, the problems they've had with it. You cannot bring something into the biggest football competition in the world at the stage it's at, because it's nowhere near the finished article. And that second half was like, it became a circus. It really did. Players, management, as Liam said, asking for it, begging for it, desperation. And because players and staff know it's available and what's at stake, they're going to push the boundaries. It's far from ideal. And that's probably the worst 45 minutes we've witnessed of it in the tournament.
Let's have a look at the Iranian penalty, lads, that was given using VAR. Now, I think you mentioned, Liam, you didn't think it was a penalty at all.
I think
Cedric of Portugal.
Yeah, I don't think this would have been given in England.
Okay.
It's accidental. Cedric doesn't even... His back is you make a deliberate handball when you're facing the play. His back is to the play. He doesn't know what's going on. And the referee didn't give it, but I reckon because the Iranians suffered at the hands of VAR a couple of times before that the referee decided to give it, and he smashed it in, didn't he? And what a chance Mehdi had just after that, in a couple of minutes later, to put Iran through and actually top the group.
But coming back to that incident, it must have taken 3 or 4 minutes from the actual incident before you went to the touchline and have a look. Because the rule is, once the game is restarted, Pepe kicked the ball out of play. Once the game is restarted, it's gone. So it looked to me that the Iranians just stopped playing till he had a look, or communicated with the guys in Moscow, wherever they sit, till he has a look. And it's just a situation which is just unacceptable, because there's people watching at home, nobody knows what's going on. And it's a technicality that when the game would have been restarted, so they just decided not to restart the game, and eventually did have a look, and they were awarded a penalty. And I just feel that the discrepancy between what we've lost in emotion and in the heat of the moment, decisions, emotions, celebrations, sadness, if you compare that to what we got, did it make it any fairer? Did it make it our product any better? I don't think it did, but it took so much away. And I think in return we got very little, if nothing. And this is why I've always been against it. And
I think Michel Platini was dead against it when he was president of UEFA. Because I think his point was, it's going to take too long, as Diddy said, it did tonight. But also, sometimes the film, you can't tell by the film whether it's a penalty or whether it's not, or whether it's offside or whether it's not. And that's the problem. You know, for me, that wasn't a penalty.
But you see,
Cedric wasn't looking at the ball. No. He was a yard away, he's turned his back, and the ball has brushed his arm.
But without VAR, like we would have been sitting here this evening, you know, if the penalty had been given in the normal way, referee sees it, I've given the penalty, and then the kind of thing, oh, well, you've seen them given, and you have seen them given. But I suppose for people who support VAR, who are into the technology, I know Platini has never been into it, but the feeling was, well, look, let's get these things right. And the issue tonight is that they have the technology, they've looked at the pictures, sure, the emotion is gone. This was there to get decisions right, and they appear to be still getting them wrong.
Dara, there's so many grey areas. The Cedric penalty, or the penalty that was given, which hit Cedric's hand, Liam said straight away, I wouldn't have given it. I'd sway towards giving it. Now, it's 3 people here, or 4. Where 2 may say it's a penalty, 2 it's not. So you can have 100 people looking at it, and you get 50 different opinions or 100 different opinions. So there's just incidents which are in the grey area. There's very hardly there's black or white. And this is a problem. They say in rugby union it works. If you want to see whether the ball is grounded or not, it's completely different.
Yeah.
To
You're dealing with a
foul
fact
play.
and a clear picture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in American football, you've got every play is a set piece. You know, football is a fluent game, and that's part of the reason why all over the world it's been watched. And if you have too many interruptions, people won't take it, won't stand for it. And there's just too many grey areas. And I said all along, when you bring it in foul play, if you use it for offside, no problem, because you can, with a calibrated line, you can say whether he was offside or not. When you bring it in with foul play, I think you open a can of worms, and you know, there's just some decisions whether there is no right or wrong. And I can accept when the ref makes a call on the pitch, and afterwards I can say, well, I probably wouldn't have given it. But if I've got people sitting there, and today you can't blame anybody, because you can give it, you can't give it. You know,
I felt sorry for the referee tonight. I really did.
But there were incidents where they didn't go in. You know, the penalty appeal for Serbia, which is a blatant penalty against Switzerland, and nobody says a word. So I can accept the referee.
Can we see the Ronaldo elbow? Can we see
I tell you, we will. I just want to show you, just to kind of complete. We'll come back to VAR in a minute. I want to just have a look, guys, at this chance that Iran had to win. Mehdi's chance, which you did reference earlier on. Like, this was so late in the game. They got back to 1-1, and this was top in the group.
What a glorious opportunity. Only moments after, the way it finds its way to him, he had national hero status just waiting for him there. You're not going to get a better opportunity to top the group.
We saw scenes at the end of the match, and I think his teammates were all around him, because he knew then that if he knocks that ball, and he should have got it across the goalkeeper, if he knocks it in the net, not only did they qualify, but they qualified top of the group.